Hi, and welcome to an M14 draft. I've spent a little time waiting for the video recorder to load, so I missed some time on this pack. I'm going to probably just go ahead and grab this Burning Earth, as it is worth some tickets, and I feel like it's what most people would do here. Nothing in this pack is too spectacular anyway, so otherwise I probably have taken the Marauding, or the 5-3 guy. And here I have a couple options. I could move in on Slivers, but that's somewhat risky at this point, I would say. Although if I pass it, I am sending a clear signal to someone else that I'm not going to be doing it. Water Servant's a card that I've very much enjoyed, and blue is very strong in M14. Outside of that, if I ended up mono black control for some reason, this would be good, but otherwise it's very lackluster. Nothing else in this pack is too spectacular. Seacoast Drake is fine. I think, however, I'm going to take the Water Servant as it's just the most versatile and the best overall. And this pack doesn't have much to offer either. I'm going to go ahead and check the price on the rare just to see what it's like. And it's not worth anything. So here, overall, the strongest card is probably going to either be the Elvish Mystic, Cursed Spirit, Mark of the Vampire are all okay options. Of those, I probably like Mark of the Vampire best. And so I will grab that for now, and we'll see where we end up. Alright, so this pack is lackluster as well. This is the one that I might have picked in the first pack if it wasn't for a decently priced rare being there. It's a strong enough card that it gets through quite a bit. And in this pack, it's probably one of the stronger cards. Quag Sickness is pretty good too. Vampire Warlord, the card that can be quite good. And most everything else is just very lackluster. Trollhide can be very good. It can also kind of be a blowout. In this case, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the Marauding Maulhorn. Alright. Of the cards here, nothing is that exciting. Once again, Quag Sickness is okay. Corrupt is expensive, and if you're a lot heavy black, it can be good, but it's not that great if you're not. Festering Newt is decent. Here, I think I'm just going to take the Scroll Thief, try and cut blue, and see if I can hedge into blue as much as possible. Oh, this is just so much stronger than the other colors in this. Of the cards here, all of them are pretty lackluster. Child of Night is okay. Same with Dragon Hatchling, and nothing else in there is even really worth considering. For the time being, I think I will grab the Child of Night. If you get some good card draw, or even some counter spells, the Archaeomancer can be quite good. And outside of that, the Shiv's Embrace can be very powerful, although it can also, any aura, lead to a blowout. Otherwise, everything is very unexciting here, so I think I'm going to grab the Archaeomancer. Alright, and here we don't have anything too terribly exciting once again. The card I like most here is probably Dragon Egg. And that's not saying much, but I think I'll go ahead and take that. And so the reason I'd usually try and do these videos in the wide beta. Right now I have the closed beta open, which means, or installed, which means I can't have both the closed and open beta. And so I just have to use this one for while I have the closed beta. None of these cards are exciting in the slightest. Tenacious Dead can be decent, so I'll grab that. I still don't know what colors I'm going to be at this point, but it's not that much of a concern at this point. Everything here is pretty bad for the most part. I guess I'll grab the Spell Blast. If my opponent has something that I must counter for some reason, I can play that. Although it's only okay in the late game. It is nothing before that. Alright, and here's pack 2. There's some decently strong cards here. I'll go ahead and check and see how much Ratchet Bomb is worth. I don't think it's worth that much, though. Yeah. I think really here, considering that I have no white, Passivhaven is probably not the best choice. Time Eb's not the worst choice, but I think I will take the Singer Vampire. There's not much else in contention for me. The Academy Raider in a deck that's built for him can be quite good, but otherwise it's okay. Ratchet Bomb, I've never been impressed with in Limited, so I think the Vampire is the best choice. And then here, there's an interesting choice in that Doomblade is just as good as it gets for the most part, and Domestication is also quite good. I think Domestication is the better choice here, though, as I think it will provide a better advantage. So I think I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And here we see a bunch of blue. Hopefully something of it comes back. I mean, I accept any of those blue cards. I think here I'm going to take the Clone, although I could see an argument for the Archaeomancer or the Messenger Drake to some extent, but another option is to swing into red and go black-red at this point. But I don't know how much it's going to pay off, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Clone here. So if you read Sam, I think it's Sam Black, who wrote the article saying that Divination may be the best common. And I don't see anything that I really want to take over it here. Phantom Warrior is okay, but it's just going to take some kind of removal spell. So I will take the Divination here. This could be a decent card if you had some type of creature targeting effect, but I don't have anything along those lines. And so there's no reason for me to consider playing it, really. And then outside of that, it's pretty clearly that I would take another Water Servant, as they're decent. Alright, here I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Essence Scatter as a removal spell. I can see the argument for taking the Nephalia Seaskite instead, but I think I like the Essence Scatter better. Excuse me. And here my real choice is between Cancel, Sensor Deprivation. I can see an argument for Corpse Hauler, but I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the Cancel. Yeah. I could see wanting to take the Sensor Deprivation, but I'm not sure if that's the right choice. And here I'll grab the Scroll Thief, as I have no real interest in Dark Favor. And then here I'll grab Time Ebb. It's a very good tempo spell. And the thing with Scroll Thief is it just needs to get through once for it to be really good. I could take Mind Rot. I'm not sure if I'd run it. And I'm not sure if I'd even run 2 Tenacious Deads, but I will grab that as maybe a reason for me to want to run 2 of them. Alright, here the Warden of Evos Island is very good for our deck. Disperse is decent, as is Nightwing Shade. The rare here, I'm going to check its value. It's not worth that much. So here I'm going to go ahead and take the Warden of Evos Isle. I would say it's probably the strongest card in the pack, mostly. Although Giant Growth and Hunt the Wink are both okay. And here's a choice between Ring Flesh, Accursed Spirit, and Essence Scatter, and Wall of Frost. I think it's pretty close between Wall of Frost and Essence Scatter. However, I do think I'm going to take Essence Scatter. As overall, I think it's the better card and the one I'm more likely to play. Alright, until here in this pack, we're past Foil Grim Return, which might actually make the deck. It has its benefits. And Bladecaster's okay. As far as enchantments go, I really only have 2, so it's not very good in this deck. Death Gaze, Cockatrice is an option. Disperse and Negate are both okay. Blood Baron is okay as well. I think, though, however, I do want the Grim Return, as it's something that can be quite useful. And here, I don't think Wicked's ever worth playing, in Limited especially. And I could see an argument for this, but I think I'm just going to take the Liturgy of Blood, and as the removal spell. 9 Zombies okay. It has its benefits. Here, I think I will take the Negate, as it's just a useful card. I don't really necessarily want a second Child of Night. I'm not even sure if I would play the first at the moment. Zephyr Charge is a maybe, as I could use it to give my Scroll Thief's evasion of some kind. Although some of my creatures already have flying, so my other option here is Blood Baron, but I'm not sure how much I'd use that ability or not, so I think I'm going to grab this. I'm not sure if I'll play it, but we can see what happens. So at the moment, I'm more heavily blue than I am black, so getting this off for 3 would be surprising, which means it's probably not going to be worth it, whereas Decent Chance I'm going to play that as that just stops the ground. Alright, in here, I definitely wouldn't want a second one of these, so the choice between Undead Minotaur and Mind Rot. Right now, I probably want another creature, so I'll go ahead and grab that. Yeah, I'll grab the Tome Scour, even though I almost would never play it. If there's a game that I'm getting into that's going to obviously just go on forever, I might decide it in, but even that seems a stretch. And here, I'm probably just going to Rare Draft, as I don't know how much I would play the Blood Baron to begin with, even though this is only a 5-cent rare. Yeah. I could try and be really cute and do something like that with it, but I think that's just trying too hard. Alright, as far as building the deck, I'm going to just throw in everything that I might play to begin with. And then we'll move on from there and see where we end up. So those are the cards I'd be willing to main deck. And so I need to cut basically 6 cards or so. The curve is pretty standard for a 17 card deck, or 17 land deck, excuse me. So we will see what I have here. Alright. I think I'm going to cut 1 of the Tenacious Dead. I don't really need 2 of them. The Dark Favor I might want to keep just because it would turn my Scroll Thieves into a 4/4, and that may be worth keeping them in just for that. It's possible I don't want the Negate as a main deck card. Although I should probably actually more like to keep the Negate than I am to keep the Dark Favor, as I do the Archaeomancer, which makes it slightly better. I think Zephyr Charge is just too cute, so I'm going to go ahead and take that out. At this point I still need to cut 4 cards. I think I'm going to remove the Negate. There's a lot of times that you just don't have a really good target for it. If my opponent plays something that makes me want to target it, I can bring it back in. And I think here I'm actually going to cut the Dark Favor as opposed to the Mark of the Vampire. I like the Mark of the Vampire more, as it makes it a much more must-answer threat, and you can wait until it's later in the game when they're in top deck mode. So it leaves me with still 2 more cuts. If there's any creatures that I think I'm willing to cut, probably one of the 2 1-drops. All the other ones serve their purpose decently enough, although I can see an argument for cutting the Armored Cancrix. I generally like it though, especially if I'm going to try and grind out a win through the flying here, or using just control elements. I do like having it there as just a ground blocker. This is just bigger than most everything in the format, so I think I want to keep it in there. I think I'm going to drop the Festering Newt, as I do like Tenacious Dead along with the Vampire Warlord, because it essentially just says black and a colorless regenerate this, which is good enough to work. So there's going to be one more card to cut. And I might cut a cancel at this point. I don't want to go much lower on creatures. And even though the Warren only really helps with one other card, it's still a 2/2 flyer, which means it's decent enough to still win Drake. And so here the question is, do I want to cut basically Mark of the Vampire or cancel? And I think I'd rather cut the cancel. And we'll go with that. So the stats tell us I have 19 and 12, so I'd probably go with a 9-8 breakdown here. I'm not a huge fan of the 10-7 unless it's very unbalanced. My black is decent enough that the cards that I want to have them. And there's reason for me to want to have more than one. So, and it's just a 10-7 here. I mean, I could see going for it. And I might actually do that. Yeah, I think, especially with the Water Servants, I do probably actually do want the 10-7. And we'll just hope that it works out for me. Alright, we will see you in the matches.